You guys remember that video I did where I was talking about this, the stone paper? Oh my god, excuse all the noises. This kitten is really annoying. It ended up like this after I closed it, so it's not waterproof, but it said it wasn't. So now the thing is I drew this with intentions on using it when the next time I had like a physical art piece that I needed to do regular art with. So I'm going to try to hopefully try to color over this and maybe try to make something out of what's left here. So let's get started. You know what? They didn't actually give you... I thought they would give you like a swatch set. Now, I thought they were actually going to give me like a swatch thing, because in the original one you got some swatches for your acrylic markers so that you could have like a list of them, because I have a notebook in my little like cart holder that has like a swatch of like every color, like every paint, every watercolor, every Copic marker, and they all came with those, but this one doesn't come with one for some reason. I'm not sure if they were trying to cut a little bit of costs, or maybe this box just didn't have it, but I watched other videos and it doesn't seem like they have it either, so I would have to make custom ones. And that's why you see me doing some swatches here, because I don't know what any of these colors look like, you know, actually on the paper. Now, I know I talked about this stone paper stuff before, but the stone paper, if you're not going to do like sketches with like pencil, like I would say like don't even bother to purchase it. I try to give it a fair shake, and I have it on my main channel. I feel like I should put it on my other channel, because well, this one, because the stone paper thing, it's something that should probably go on here, but I wanted it to get to a wider audience so that people would see it. But it's like sitting at what, like 500 views or something, so maybe I can repurpose it later. I don't know. Part of me was thinking like maybe I could use it for just sketches and maybe never color it in again, but I gotta do another draw with me because I got some colored pencils. Let me tell you, it has been a long time since I had them, because I actually used to, when I was like a teenager, I had like so many Prisma markers. Now, I know people are gonna give me shit in the comments, but when I was like, when I was a kid in high school, I used to, for my lunch money, I would like save up my lunch money for two things: video games and art supplies, because my parents really didn't support me having either of those things, even though they let me have them. They just weren't really supportive of those hobbies. So I would like not eat at school so I could like have this thing. And when I couldn't get art supplies because I didn't have any money, what I would do is I would like tell my parents that I was going to walk home from school that day, and I would like go to Michael's or go to Joann's, and I would go in the back and I would actually like just take them. I would just steal them. And I mean, I feel like if you're like a teenager, I feel like every teenager has stolen something. Maybe some of you have not, but I have. And then I would just go home and I would have like a bunch of them. I never really got caught because I would just take one and then I would not come back for a really long time, or next time I would come, it would be with my parents. But because Prisma markers, not Prisma markers, but Prisma colored pencils were like always expensive. And like, I never actually, until YouTube, I never got into using any other mediums other than colored pencils and pencil. I just never got into it. I never knew what they were. I never knew how to use them, not even watercolor. And I just never touched them because I thought they were for like people who had, they were for people who had money. You know, they were for people who had money. And I chose to put my money into games and cheap things like pencils, or when I finally did get a job, it was like cosplay stuff. I know I used to, there's like so many pictures of me cosplaying, but it is like a long time ago, a long time ago, But anyway, for art supplies, I also would ask my friends for ones that they weren't clearly using anymore. I would wait until stuff went on sale for Black Friday, and then I would like just buy those or whatever it was. Oh my god, you should have seen. I used to have like this thing. It was called like a caboodle, and I got it. Originally it was for makeup, but I never used it for makeup because I didn't know how to wear makeup or how to apply makeup or any of that stuff until I was like really already out of like school. And my mom thought it would be really nice to give me one. So I really just put all of my supplies into this thing, and it was, oh my god, it was massive. It was massive. I had the entire bottom full of colored pencils and regular pencils. And in my room, I did have a desk, and I don't even remember what I used the desk for. Like now, I can't even believe, like in my brain, like, okay, let me tell you about this desk. This desk was like a big boy desk. It was old, it was big, it was expensive, and I have no idea why in my brain I decided it was a good idea to fully get rid of it. I remember the day that I got rid of it because what happened was my mom forced this black desk on me, this other desk. So then I had two desks in my room. I had, it was like an old, I don't even know how to describe it. So older desks came like a piece of furniture, right? So it wasn't just the top of the desk. It was also, there was like this thing that sat on top of it, but it was a whole piece, right? So it had like spaces up top, spaces in front, and then it had like a corkboard inside, but it wasn't really actually a corkboard, but some of them did. This one was just flat, so you could like put stickers or whatever the fuck you wanted to put on the back side, but my mom didn't want me to do anything like that, so it was just blank on the back. But it was made of oak, it was really heavy, and I kept it forever. But I really didn't like that desk because it was like I couldn't use it. It was like traditional desk, so you could not use it for a computer. It couldn't be used for anything more than actually like a working desk. So I just kept it in my room because my mom gave me the master bedroom in the house. So this other desk, she didn't want to get rid of it. It was a desk that my dad made. She wanted to get a new desk, one of these like heavy corporate desks. Like I think she still has it downstairs in her house. But anyway, she gave me the black desk, and it was similar, but it had a hole in the back for computers. So I ended up using that for a really long time, and it was just as big as the other desk, the heavy oak desk. And I was like, ugh, you know what? I'm just going to get rid of these desks in my room, because my room was so full of desks. And even though I had the master bedroom, it was just full of weird furniture. And I felt like I just needed more space because I had no space to do like because I was like getting into cosplay more and more as I like got out of my teens. I needed more floor space, and I had literally none. I had like just a small section on the floor that I could sit on. And if anyone has cosplayed before knows, you have to spread the fabric out. And my parents also didn't like that I did cosplay. They thought that was a useless hobby as well. So I couldn't like lay it anywhere else other than in my room. So it was always this fight to work on my cosplays. So I decided I was going to get rid of these desks. So I don't know what happened, but I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I need to get rid of these desks, like both of them. And she's like, you're going to get rid of the desks? And I was like, yeah, and we're going to get a different one. And she goes, okay. But then she like fought me about the desks because she's like, well, the oak one we probably should keep because it's a really nice desk. And I was like, but I don't want it. It's like filling up so much space in my room. I just want to get rid of it. It's just a mess. It just needs to go. And she finally agreed with me, and we ended up taking that to the dump, which was, I can't even believe being the person I am now, I can't believe I did that. Like, I still can't believe I did that. I don't know what possessed me to think that was a good idea, to just go, you know what? I'm going to take this beautiful, like fully oak desk, Like, it could have been made by the Amish. It was really nice. And just take it to the dump. That was, I can't even. And then I was like, the other desk was just, it just wasn't made with good wood. It was made of that, like, you know, that patchy stuff that you get from like Home Depot. It's like that super ugly shit that you get. It's like really thin and it's scratchy and it's not smooth. It's like it can't be sanded down or used anyway. So my dad like put together a desk, and it was like, it had a big, I don't know what you call those things that sit on top of a desk that has like cubby holes and stuff. But I decided that I also didn't want that desk. I wanted a smaller desk that had wheels that could be pushed and moved around, so that if I'm working on cosplay stuff, I could move the desk away from wherever it is. So my parents were like, well, we're not going to help you get rid of it. And I was like, well, okay, I will get rid of it, I guess, on my own. So the thing is like, by this time I was working at a store called Pier 1 Imports. And Pier 1 Imports was like, it was like a quirky, like, home decor store. And I was used to carrying heavy furniture and maneuvering it around small spaces already, because that's like 90% of the job, is like putting a desk or something like a whole table into a small space or into somebody's car. So I had to like, and it was so dumb. Like, I thought it was so dumb that my parents didn't actually want to help get it out of my bedroom, because they just thought it was a waste of their time. And they're like, well, if you want to do it, you got to do it yourself. And I was like, well, okay. And I lowered the desk and I started to push it out. I had no wheels or anything, so it was like super awkward, because the house that I had was like a century home. So it was built like over 100 years ago, and like the ceilings are low. So the way that you had to get it out was like push it forward and down and then pull it out and then do this awkward sit it up, shift, sit it up, shift. And I had to take it out to the curbside, which is like the tree lawn, as you would call it in Ohio, and leave it there for the garbage guys to come get it. And oh my god, ICE is coming to get me. Always. And like, after they took that desk, I actually didn't have a desk, because it was kind of like a thing where my parents said they would help me get a desk, and then when it came time to help me get the desk, they kind of said, well, we're not going to help you get the desk now. And I'm not like, you know, like, I'm trying not to complain too much about my home life, but it was very, you know, very wild. And I was like, okay. So then I actually did not have a desk at all in my room. And what I did was like, you guys are going to think this is so stupid. I had a nightstand, and the nightstand turned into my desk until I got one. And it took me months to save for what was essentially like, oh my god, it was like Walmart level. It was like Walmart desk. It was like, you know, those pieces of wood that have the vinyl stuff on top of it, so it's smooth, but it's literally like the same shit as the former desk. So it's like that stock material, whatever, the chips that are all glued together, it's that, but with like vinyl over top of it and then put together, and then it had wheels on the bottom. It took me months to save for that, because let me tell you, Pier 1 Imports did not pay very well. Like, I liked working there because it was like, it literally taught you so many skills that I think that every person needs to learn. And I'm going to go over that, but I did want to talk real quick again about these markers. So these markers on this paper is very streaky, and because it stays wet, it is okay to blend. But I also think that you're really going to have to buy the proper paper, because I have other paper and it just works. I don't know if there's something wrong with these particular markers. I do love Arrtx markers, but I also find that, like, you know, with this new set, I just literally got these and I'm like, what is going on with these? I feel like I wasn't able to make good, like, you guys are seeing what I'm seeing at the same time. You know, what do you guys think about this? Like, just not, I know the art is kind of whatever, but I'm talking about like the quality of it, because I did try. I also felt like there wasn't enough colors inside that I could use to like shade. I think they assumed that maybe I had more, and then like, because I hadn't done something where I received like any kind of art supplies from an art supplier, I wasn't sure if I had to use all of their supplies to finish the art, or I could do more than that. And only after I did mine did I look up other videos of people of what they did, and yeah, they basically were just using the markers to color in, and then they did whatever they wanted to do, but I just kind of winged it. So I definitely have too many of these acrylic markers. I have so many of them that I'm just literally going to give this to my husband's little sister. She's like 12 and she's just learning how to draw, and I'm just going to give her literally all of these supplies and just let her have a go at it, because she can benefit more from these than I can, because the ones that I have are good and I really love those. I don't even want to change them. The original, whatever ones they found, even though I know they're like cheap Chinese knockoffs or whatever, those are better in my opinion than these. That's just my opinion. And I really did love coloring with them, but you have to get the right paper, and it's neither here nor there about this. Let me tell you guys about what I think I learned from working at Pier 1 Imports and every other sales job I had after that. So Pier 1 Imports was about giving people the experience and focusing on the customer when they came in the store, instead of just like directing them to something and then leaving them to their devices. Because yes, we all know that some people prefer to be left alone. I do too, but Pier 1 was kind of different, because the thing is you had to pay more to get the products from Pier 1, because there were lots of stuff that were handmade from other countries and stuff, and people often wanted your opinion on what they were buying, because these pieces were going to be going into their rooms, inside their houses, and sometimes, you know, you would buy something and then it just didn't look good, or you wasn't sure if the color would match or whatever. And we had like home designers come in all the time for stuff. Like literally every day you would get someone who would spend thousands of dollars just, oh, I'll take that painting, I'll take these pillows, I'll take this, I'll take that, I'll take this, I'll take these 2 chairs. And when someone would come in, they would literally like be looking for stuff for their home. And sometimes they would want you to help them basically decorate their tables in their house. So you were home decorators technically, but like you had to go a little bit further. So the thing is even though I was a sales associate, you had to learn how to talk sales to somebody, and the best way to learn how to do sales is to do like these little role play things. And I would do these awkward, oh my god, it was so awkward. And I worked there for a long time too, and it was like no matter how many times we did the role play sessions, I would always feel uncomfortable doing them every single time without fail. Even though my boss Paul was like the nicest guy, he was kind of like Steve Carell from The Office, you know, like Michael. He was very like Michael coded. He was a really funny guy, but he was really awkward. And it wasn't just him, but it was also like the type of people who worked there were like people like me, who were just like young people, you know, under 25 somethings that were either in college or just working. There's those people. And then there was women. there was almost no men that worked at Pier 1 Imports. And the women that worked at Pier 1 Imports were a little bit older. They were like late 50s, early 60s, very close to retirement or retirement age working there, like over 65. And they had rich husbands. Their husbands did finance, their husbands were in some type of very high paying job, and they had kids that were already like out of high school or near end of high school, and they just had nothing to do with their time. So they worked at Pier 1 Imports because it was really a very easy job. Other than like, you know, taking stuff out of packages, putting heavy stuff on the floor, getting heavy stuff into cars. Other than that, like, it was a pretty easy job. And then there was Paul, who was like the only guy that worked there. So the demographic is just very all over the place. Part of the job were to be to like ask questions, and you had to ask open-ended questions. And I'm giving you guys some free advice. An open-ended question is a question that you can't answer no to. You have to answer. It is a who, why, where, when, how type of question to customers. So it would really be helpful when you're trying to buy something for somebody else, especially during the holidays, which is now coming up. Somebody would come in and they would have no idea what they're buying for their whoever. I'm going to give you like a fictional scenario. So there would be like a woman would come in and she's like, oh, I'm buying for my sister, but I don't really know what kind of person she is, but I like, you know what I mean? Like, I know the type of stuff she likes, but I don't know what to buy her. So I'd be like, okay, so what are her interests? And then they would tell me her interests. And then I would just further narrow it down by asking who, what, where, when, why, how questions. And eventually she would just give me all of this information, and then I would be able to maybe locate something for her based on what she gave me. You can really do this with anybody, anywhere. Asking open-ended questions was the way to kind of help me deal with social anxiety, because I feel like a part of the social anxiety is not knowing what to say and how to navigate those kinds of scenarios. Not that scenario specifically, but scenarios where you're talking to somebody and you don't know what to talk about. And the other thing that I learned is that, like, from that job, is that people love to talk about themselves. And because people love to talk about themselves, they will literally tell you anything if you ask them questions about themselves. So this is really good advice if you're socially awkward or you don't know what to say when you're talking to somebody. Ask them questions about them. You can do that for so long. You can just keep asking them questions, especially narrowing down and then like learning more about them, because you're not really giving any information up of yourself. So the conversation isn't on you. The conversation is on them. So not only are you engaged in what they're talking about, you're showing interest in their interests. And it appears, I mean, it's okay. So I know that it sounds a little bit manipulative, and I understand that, but it's a sales tactic, but it's also a tactic to help you make friends and get over that initial weirdness of like how to talk to a person. And that also carried me over to like when I would meet people, or when I like, especially during like when I cosplayed and stuff, and I'd want to like interact with other, you know, professionals around them, or when I wanted to talk to an artist that was at like this little Comic-Con thing, or when I wanted to talk to like Troy Baker, or I wanted to talk to any of these other people, like, even though I felt very nervous inside, I was, you know, able to ask questions and still get answers from them, saying that it's like a fix-all, because it's not. Like, you know, when I met Troy Baker, I was still incredibly nervous and I was very sick too. But I kind of knew, like, if I just pretended that I was at work, in quotations, I would be fine. Because when I started working at the airport, which was also another sales position, I ended up meeting a lot of celebrities there. So you don't ever get over meeting a celebrity. But because you see them and sometimes you have to interact with them in like more casual setting, it sometimes doesn't feel as awkward to meet a celebrity. It's kind of like putting your best foot forward and just kind of hoping for the best, because I mean, when I did it in Uber, I learned that like I would be in the car with people who I felt made me feel uncomfortable, or I felt like maybe they were possibly dangerous. And sometimes if you would just ask them questions about them, even if they're crazy people, they will tell you literally anything and they will be super engaged with you. And I feel like if all of you guys kind of learned how to do this, I feel like some of you might have some easier issues, especially if you plan on going and doing cons in the future, or maybe you want to like sell your stuff online, or you want to do YouTube, or you want to do something else like that. Like, I feel like having a knowledge of how to do open-ended questions and how to get people to talk about themselves is 100% how you get some kind of success doing something. When I do YouTube and Uber, I really don't need to use like narrowing down tactics to find out what people want, I can just keep asking them questions until I feel comfortable, which is better than like not having them. So if you guys can remember, like ask them who, what, where, when, why, how, they'll probably give you an answer. I did want to go back to the artwork here because I want to talk about, so I have the Staedtler FineLiners and I purchased them because I saw other artists have those. Like I'm very, very like, oh my god, I need to know exactly which thing you have. And I know people are like, well, you don't really need to know, but you know what, it's not that I need to know, it's that I want to know. Because like the thing is it's when people aren't willing to tell you what materials they use, I feel like that's always a little bit sus to me. And I will literally like go online and like type up what people are using and the colors and descriptions, and sometimes I can get it. Like there's this thing I want, it's there, the person that I like to watch, her name is Gretz Lucky. I'm sure some people have seen it, and I'm sure some people have noticed that like my art looks like hers a little bit, but she uses the Staedtler FineLiners, and on top of that she has this washi tape, and I didn't even know what washi tape was, but I want it. I'm gonna buy some at some point. I just want to know where she buys hers, but I haven't been able to find where she buys hers, and I think it's because it's might be local to her, and I know she's like from Europe. So if you guys use washi tape, comment below and tell me where you buy yours. And I know that I'm gonna go into it again, but I wanted to talk about my light novel because I've actually been working on it, which is, woo, I wasn't working on it before, but now I am, so be proud of me. So I was working on part 1 of Arrtx's story. Now, how I set everything up was to be very tight with how many words there were in the entire manuscript. I wanted there to be at least 50,000 words because a light novel is generally 50 to 60,000. I wanted to give myself a little bit of room to play with it because I don't want it to be a whole novel, because I know that there's no way I'm going to be able to write a whole novel. I'm still working on my science fiction one from before. So I managed to finish part 1 of 5 parts of Arrtx's story, and I will be uploading it. But I'm going to do another draw with me that's going to be on this channel. That's going to be a Patreon reward when it's finished. So you guys will see it. You guys will see what the drawing is going to look like. I'll probably color it. I'm still trying to figure out like the XP pen stuff and how to make it work. And I'm just really bad at it right now. So please forgive me when you see it next time. It will be a Patreon reward, and it will be up there, so will all the text. And then after the new year, I'm going to make it for free for everyone, so people can come there, look at my Patreon, the art that I have there, and also see my writing, because I don't want it to be like another Milo/Audra Winters situation where no one gets to see the person's writing, and you guys can give me feedback and comment and tell me what you think about it. I would really love that. So my first time not only drawing Venoir, but writing as Venoir, because Venoir was a mix of 3 different characters originally, and then I had to tone him down, and I had a lot of inspiration. So I've finally got him, and it did take me a while. I'm just very excited to introduce my world to people, because it's just my passion. Like, it's just always been a passion of mine since I made it when I was in college. That interests you, please go over to my Patreon, because that's where I'm going to be posting it. And as I do more chapters, I'm not going to post every chapter there, but most of the chapters will be there. Well, the parts will be there for you guys, and I will post an art with it too of a moment. So hopefully I can manage to do that. I'm almost done finishing my art promises, and maybe when I'm done with my art promises, then I can finally get to drawing more often the things that I want to draw, because I also want to do an animation too. But anyway, the novel part that I did was, it's like the end of the novel, right? And so the story takes place going over the lifespan of a flower in my world that goes to the Fey realm. Every part also has to do with a season in that part of, like, with a character or a set of 2 characters. Draw the flower for the story, and I'm going to make a Patreon entry for it for my higher tier. So if that sounds good to you, please go over to my Patreon and subscribe to it. There's a $1 and $5 tier, and I do post my videos from my other channel there for you guys if that's interesting to you. like the unreleased stuff that I felt like I couldn't post or I had no reason to post, but it's definitely over there for you to check out. Finally finished the artwork, and I wanted to just show you guys up close how I tried to kind of make it look. Now, like I said, on stone paper, it's going to be super wet, super duper wet. Overall, I really like the markers, and I think people should buy the markers regardless, because I just really love Artxx. But if you have any kind of opinions or whatever, please let me know below, and please subscribe. I am trying to get more subscribers on this channel of people who will just watch the content, not just the shorts, because yep, I did that. I went and I short spammed too much. And if you want to know how I got viral twice, you guys can watch the video at the end of this video. And remember, please go to my Patreon if you want to see more of my high-res art and other stuff like that. I try to put up stuff at least once a week or twice a week. I do love putting up my writing and stuff when I can. We appreciate you guys. If you guys made it to the end, please put some kind of emoji. I don't care what emoji it is, but an emoji if you watched this far. Now, I woke up very early, and there is probably a nap in my future. So I will see you guys next time. Peace out and enjoy my drawing of dust. Bye.